Hello and welcome to episode 21 of Security 101. It's hard to believe we've already been doing this for 20 episodes, and this is our 21st episode. This week we have something that's a little bit scary. Actually, it's a lot scary. This is the kind of thing I see a lot, so it doesn't scare me so much anymore, but this is going to scare a lot of people. And this is credit card skimmers. It's amazing how people don't really know what credit card skimming is, and I'm going to show you some things that are going to scare you. You're going to go up to the ATM machines now and credit card machines, and you're going to be pulling on things and looking to see if it's real, because it's pretty scary how realistic things are. And today is going to be basically a bunch of pictures. I'm going to show you different kinds of skimmers that are out there just to make you aware of what is going on out there. And this is becoming a growing problem, a very large growing problem. In fact, if you search the internet for credit card skimmers, you're going to find all kinds of interesting videos. There's even one out there, somebody trying to attach it to the ATM machine and having problems. Just like they pulled up with like to get money out, and they're just going to reach out and stick it on, and they had a problem with it. So, but you can find all kinds of interesting things about credit card skimmers. So let's hop over to the pictures. And this first picture we have is a Bank of America, and the one on the left has no skimmer, and the one on the right does. Now the question is, can you see where the skimmer is? And this skimmer actually has two pieces to it. And just initially looking at it, you think like, well, they're the same machine. And yeah, you're right. They're the same machine, but one of them does have a skimmer attached to it. The one on the left has nothing. The one on the right has it. And there's two pieces to the skimmer. If you look where you put your credit card in, on the left box, you see there's like a little indent where your card goes in. If you look at the one on the right, it looks normal. Looks like that's where you put your card in, the little bump out thing. And you see that on ATM machines that are real ATM machines and not skimmers. The other thing you're going to notice is at the very top left, you see a little red box. That's actually a camera. So how they do this is that little piece of plastic has a reader in it. And as you stick your card in it, it reads your magnetic strip. And the camera watches what pin you put in. And from that, they are getting both your mag stripe read and your pin. They basically have your ATM card at that point. So that's how a skimmer works, is they capture the details. And there's different ways. I'm going to show you some different things in here coming up of other ways to capture your PIN. Some of them are scary, just as scary as this is. You would not think that credit card skimmer that's on the card insert was wrong. It looks normal. So these other things they put on these devices sometimes look very normal, and I'm going to show you some more. So let's look at our second picture, and I'm going to show you the picture what this really should look like afterwards on a different ATM machine, because it's the same skimmer. But you see that little green thing where you're supposed to put your card in, and the one that the probably police officer is holding in his hand, trying to get evidence off of, that's why you see the gloves on, is the actual skimmer. And you see where the card comes in, and the two little wires that are going down to that the magnetic stripe reader, and at the very top is a very small device with a battery that reads your card and stores it. And eventually they come back and pull this down, put another one up, and they take your data out of it. So there's no camera shown in this one, but somewhere there has to be a camera because they're getting your PIN number as well. A camera or some other device. So here is how this one looks when it's on. That would look normal to me. It looks like a regular ATM insert. So yeah, you can see how tricky they are about making these things look very, very normal. All right, so let's scroll down to the next one. And here is a little blurry, sorry about that, but you see the top one has no skimmer and the bottom one has a skimmer. Would you think that was different or wrong? I personally would not be able to tell the difference. However, if you would yank on that bottom one, it would come off because it's just stuck on there with double-sided tape. So let's scroll on down to the next one. And here is the rear card reader on the left and the capture device on the right. And what they're probably doing is using that piece on the bottom, which is insert card, to help cover up and attach it to the ATM machine so it doesn't fall off. It's probably where they're using double-sided tape at. It's all attached together. Some electronics and battery could be down in there. It's hard to say what's all down in that bottom piece. The picture doesn't show that. And if we scroll down a little bit below, you see how it attaches. So you see the side cut view, and it just attaches right on top of the card reader. So you're putting your card in the exact same hole. You're just passing it through another device that you can't see. So they're very sneaky how they do this. So here's the part I want to show you. I didn't see one. I couldn't find a picture of it on the device, but this is the other way that they will get your PIN number rather than use a camera, because cameras sometimes can be found fairly easily. by people that are doing the investigation. They'll stick this on top of the keypad. It's very thin. You can't even tell it's there. And you're putting your PIN number in, pushing the real keys, but as you push the real keys, you're also recording which buttons you're pressing. So it just slides right on top of the number pad. And let me just say, the other thing I've seen is for cameras is sometimes there's like a little pamphlet box there with literature in it. They'll drill a hole into that and put the camera in that pamphlet box. Now, you're not seeing many pamphlet boxes anymore because of that. These ATM manufacturers are getting a little bit smarter about how people are being used. All right, so here's the next picture, and this is actually another scary thing. So I've been looking at ATM machines. This, as you can probably tell, is a gas pump. And that is a skimmer on a gas pump. Does that look normal? Looks normal to me. I would not think anything about that whenever I went and put my credit card in it. It's the top piece. It's a little bit bulkier, so I might question that part of it. But it still looks very, very normal. And I wouldn't think twice about putting my card into there, just looking at it. We go to the next picture, and here is another part of the gas pump. And sometimes they put this overlay on top, just like we did on the ATM machine, and it records what numbers you press in. So if you use an ATM card, it'll get your PIN. And you see the wires on there. They're probably pulling it off, but you know, this stuff's so easily available on the internet to buy. So, and I'm going to show you here in a little bit something that's a little scary. So there's also independent credit card skimmer devices. They don't always attach them to an ATM machine. So let's say you go into a restaurant and your card leaves your table. The person who took your card goes to a machine, runs your card through it, just like normal, because that's how you pay. But what's to say that they didn't have this little device in their pocket? Look how small this device is, 2 inches wide. They can stick it in their pocket, and as they're walking back and forth, they can swipe it. They can put it inside a jacket pocket and just swipe it. So, I mean, you got to really be careful where your card goes. That's what I'm saying. I don't mean to scare the life out of you because you don't want your card ever leaving your table anymore. But that's something that I always watch, where they go with my card. Being in the security and knowing this stuff, I'm always aware of what's going on with my card. I watch everything that happens. In fact, if I see somebody swipe it twice, I make sure they swiped it on the same machine twice, because there is the possibility that they swiped it twice. This may be sitting at the end or beside another card reader, or just out of your view, and you see them swipe once and you see them swipe twice. They could have swiped it to a card reader, a skimmer, and through the card reader. So I'm very cautious about when I see somebody swipe something twice like that. And so the next picture is, we're back to another ATM. So here they're showing the skimmer, and the camera is actually underneath this little lip that they installed to kind of hide it. So just another version of an ATM. So this next one, this is going to scare you a little bit as well. So, and you'll see I thought about this, should I leave the domain name on this image? And I was not going to use the image because the domain name is actually on the image, but I thought, well, you can search the internet and find this anyway, so it's not going to matter if I put the URL in there anyways. So what you have in this picture is that bottom little piece is the skimmer, and you see a pile of blank cards, and these are like any card you can get for room keys. You can take an old hotel room key and make it a credit card using this device. And it can be any kind of mag stripe. You can go buy in bulk the cards you use to get into like your business. So you swipe the card to get into your business. Those cards work just fine as well. So what they do is they take that skimmer, they take that CD there, unload the data from that skimmer, and then they can program and create blank credit cards using the bigger device. They basically swipe the card through, it programs the card with the credit card information that it was stolen by using the swipe. So it's brain simple. I mean, it doesn't take anybody smart to really know how to do this, and the instructions are all in there as well. So it's one of those things where, you know, the average person can become a criminal fairly easily. So that is our skimmer coverage today. And again, my goal was not to scare you, but this typically scares people when they see what is going on out there with these devices. It's happening more and more. And one thing I can recommend is, if you don't use an ATM machine that is non-bank branded. The banks are getting better at finding this. They regularly go out and check their machines. But the ATM is in 7-Eleven. Who knows when it was last checked? It's probably an independently owned ATM machine. So you could be at risk just going in and using it. So just be very cautious about it. I've seen people, and actually I've done this before, I go up to the ATM machine and I see that little bump out thing there. I grab it and yank on it, make sure it's actually tight. If it moves at all, I won't use the ATM machine, because to me that means it's probably just stuck on with the double-sided tape. That's just me. So, but just be cautious of it. I want you to be aware of what ATM card and credit card skimming is. So many people are getting their credit card stolen and they don't realize that they're getting stolen at a gas station or the ATM machine they use all the time, something like that. Not that anybody took it online, just that that's why you got your credit card by skimming it. And that's becoming more popular actually than stealing it online because it's very easy to do. All right, that's it for Security 101 this week. We'll talk to you next week. For show notes for this show, contacts, and more, go to the techzen.tv website where you can get show notes for all of our shows. We love to hear from our viewers and listeners. We have an email, a Twitter, and a phone number where you can contact us for each show. For details, visit the techzen.tv website and get the show details. You can also make a video and upload it somewhere like YouTube or Vimeo and then just send us a link. You never know, you may see your video in a future show. You can get all of our shows delivered automatically to your favorite device by going to your favorite podcast website like iTunes and subscribing. Each of our shows also has a YouTube channel you can subscribe to get regular updates. Our shows are also available on most internet radio networks like Stitcher and TuneIn Radio. You can also watch and listen to our shows on Xbox, TiVo, and Roku. You can even find us on your Zune.